Jesus. Okay. What is good, everybody? It's the Godfather of VR, the ageless Wonder, the man Lincoln Clay, and we're back for a live stream of LeMans Ultimate. Checking out the new daily race this week. We are at Bahrain International Circuit, 25-minute race. This track is okay with me. But out of all the, as far as GT3 races goes, it's probably at the bottom of my list, and I don't mean that in the sense that I don't like the track. The track is fine, but but I think I'm better at this track on F124. You know, and I don't know if that's the arcade physics of F124, or is that, you know, or is that similar to the way a F1 car would take this track? I really don't know. But in any case, yeah, I do okay on this track, but I do better on F124 in my opinion. So when I first registered for this race, it was nobody registered. I was the first one to register, and from what I'm seeing here, based on my driving rating and safety rating, at the moment, I am the #1 ranked driver in this session. So if that's the case, I'm going to be expected to qualify first, and I'm going to be expected to win this race. So, way to put the pressure on me to start off with. Let's get that out of the way. So I don't think there's anything to talk about. Here, let me turn this down a little bit. I don't think there's anything really to talk about as far as gaming. I did see the official LeMans Ultimate YouTube channel. They did post a video today where a real Lamborghini hypercar driver tried out LeMans Ultimate and gave his thoughts. So I say that because I'm just hoping that that's a small sign that things are still going in the right direction for LeMans Ultimate. So, I mean, if they're looking for funding and looking for investors, I'm all good with that. I just hope it doesn't get absorbed by iRacing or something. So let's get a couple of practice laps in. Whoopsie. I never get tired of seeing that 46 hit. Whoops, and I keep hitting my microphone. I don't even remember what kind of lap times I was turning on this game. Turn 1 absolutely scares me on this track.
Track's clear. Push, push, push. Brakes are cold. Be careful. Air temperature's increasing. It's now 28 Celsius.
Oof. The tires are still cold.
New fastest lap from Wilkinson, 201.44. Yellow flag sector 2, P4.
Oof. Do that again. Oh shit. 4 minutes left. Hmm. So on 0.7 off the pace, off the fastest lap. I don't know what my all-time fastest lap is though. So let's just go ahead and head on back to the main menu.
That's the end of the session. E2.
Got this super wide screen. Okay, so I'm no longer the #1 guy. 1, 2, 3. So currently, I am the 4th ranked guy. That's one thing. Motorsports games. If you're watching, this helps me. This would help me determine where I'm at going into a race. You see right here, the registered drivers. And they're listed by rank. So if you could, it'd be nice to have, you know, rank 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So instead of me having to, you know, because if you're way down here, then I got to start from the top and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and count from the top down. So yeah, it'd be nice to have a number right here, so you know what your rank is going into a race. So fortunately, I can see it right there that going into this race, I'm the 4th ranked driver. All right, let's get in here. I say this game has developed a dedicated following. The people who like this game really like this game, and I think that says a lot. You know, when James Baldwin has been playing a lot of this game lately.
2 minutes to go. 2 minutes. Your exit's clear. Watch the white line. Got cold brakes all around. Be careful. That's the end of the session. E2.
Right, car set up. 5 laps. This is going to be a 25-minute race, so let's see here, 14, 15, 16 laps. 16 or 17 laps should be enough.
It takes in is clear. All right, Clay. We've got 5 minutes to settle up. Need to get some heat into these brakes.
Oh, shit.
Clear right.
Cyber Dragon said, "What up, chat and our gaming host BR King Lincoln Clay."
Mr. Dragon, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it.
Cyberdragon said, "Excellent, sir. Currently at work finishing my break, then heading home to game."
Oh, excellent. No.
We need to watch these track limits.
I'm trying to use every bit of the track.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, "Hi Clay,
How's it?
maybe turn up the game volume a bit, thumbs up."
Okay.
Fastest lap for Bond 2, 0.9 seconds.
How's that?
P5. The guy behind has just done a 202.43. That's barely a scratch, just ignore it.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, "Better mate."
Okay, cool.
Kwaski said, "Link,
Kwaski.
what's good, brother?
How's it going,
I
Kwaski?
finally picked up LeMans Ultimate, I'm really liking it."
There you go, my guy.
That's the end of the session, P5.
.159 is the fastest lap. My goodness.
Lap 2:01.13.
Oh my lord. The fastest lap is 159.2. I'm 1.9 seconds off of that pace. So, for me to be satisfied with this, I would have needed to get it into the 2 minutes. So yeah, you can see right there my fastest. I got a 201.132, which qualifies 5th. So I'm gonna get dinged for that because I was expected to qualify 4th. All right, let's get this thing set up here. This is a 25-minute race, so I think I'm going to need 15, 16, 13, 14, 15. 17 laps should be enough. Yeah, we'll do that just in case. So yeah, but based on these lap times, if I can get it maintained 2 minutes, or just call it a 201 flat or better, then I can finish in the top 5. So all right, we got our fuel in here. Just double check. 18 laps. All right, let's get out here. Absolutely love this game. You know, and I think people are slowly migrating from ACC over to LeMans Ultimate. As I was saying before, James Baldwin has been playing a lot of LeMans Ultimate lately. He seems to like the hypercars. And I super chatted him, and I asked him, you know, if he could drive a hypercar, would he be as aggressive as he would, you know, in a GT3, because he's driven those in real life. And he said he'd be even more aggressive with a hypercar. Turn the bias up a couple of clicks. Wait for it to say hold your speed and then hit the pit limiter. Here you go.
Green flag, green flag.
This is going to be a turn 1 wreck.
Side's clear. Come on, Clay. Forget the start. Just get stuck in, mate. Yellow flag. It looks like Moretto has binned it. He's leading the race.
Oh no!
Yellow flag.
Move.
Green flag, sector 2. We think that Zach has binned it. Seen some minor aero damage. Flag in sector 1.
Uh-oh, a couple of cars coming into the pits for repairs. Thank you.
Sector 2 is now yellow. We think that Cortez has crashed.
Toyotamon said,
Flag in Sector 2.
is the stream choppy for someone else?
I hope not. Because I went through my checklist.
The leader has just done a 159.00.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, yes, it is choppy.
Oh my goodness. Every single time I go live, there's some kind of issue. Even when I go through my checklist. And I don't usually find out until the middle of the race, so there's nothing I can do about it until after the race.
Okay,
Toyotamon
Come on, let the race
said,
come to us. That's 20.
do you think the Rift S is a good headset to get started in VR?
The Rift S? Only if you got a super weak computer, and it's not going to look very good.
Yellow flag, caution. Green flag, sector 2. It looks like Zach has spun off.
There's no reason for this stream to be choppy. I'm doing the 2 PC setup. So
Time was a 202.49.
but everything's running smooth. The game itself is running perfect. Yeah, and I still got 37% headroom to work with, so, and I'm doing a 2 PC setup, so.
clear right. Come on, don't let him get away.
Virtual Reality Motorsports.
Left
Said.
side, clear left.
I use the Rift S and is a great starting point in my opinion. The stream looks like it's running at 25 frames a second, Clay.
Oh my God.
Moretto has gone off.
All right, let's see what that does. I just closed the window, so let's see if that does anything.
The car in front of us is Zach.
That was horrible. He spun out. He spun out and took me with him. Yeah, there's no reason this stream should be chopping. Because I got OBS set.
Minutes left.
I've got OBS set at 60 frames per second, and I'm doing the 2 PC setup. So, in the streaming PC,
Okay, Clay. The next car is Cortez.
other than OBS, the only thing that's open on the streaming PC is the speech to chat. So that, like I said, there's no reason this stream should be choppy. I don't have an explanation for it, and this kind of crap, I usually don't figure out what the problem is until I go back and, you know, do my systems check to see if I missed anything.
Yellow flag, sector 1.
So deepest apologies.
We can see Bond has binned it, P13.
And I made sure I turned off my computer in the bedroom. I turned off the Xbox.
Alright, Clay, halfway home. Fuel's good.
Ah, crap, I lost time, big time. Thirteenth place. This race is gonna hurt. And truth be told, I cannot halfway think straight because you guys told me about the stream chopping.
We're halfway through qualifying pace now. Come on, you can salvage something here. Sector 1 is 0.38 off the pace. Sector 2 is 1.3 off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.9 off the pace. Next car is Rob. Sector 3 is yellow. We think Slim has crashed. Sector 3 is now clear. Okay, Clay, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left. We need quali pace every lap now, mate. There might still be chances here. Cut clear right. Good pass. Now keep pushing.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said. Stream is running smoother now, Clay.
Okay, I closed the window. All right, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
This is okay. Keep those exit speeds up. V12. Incident in Sector 2, yellow flag. We think C left, bend it. Sector 2 is green.
There we go, got him.
Nice one, Clay. Good pass. Nice front. Track limits, watch those lines.
All right.
The car in front of us is now moral.
11th place. Oh my God.
Lap 2-0-2.20.
2 wrecks this race. This is a backbreaker.
Green flag sector 1. It looks like Slim has stacked it.
That's a tricky corner right there, because
5 minutes remaining.
I see that I lose time every time on that corner. That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel. Yellow flag, sector 2. We think that Worrell and Zach have stacked it. Green flag, sector 2. Left's a clear left. Dude acting like he's trying to do a little pit maneuver.
Okay. Push, push, push. We can get this guy. Two minutes to go. 2 minutes.
Lap time was a 2:02.95.
We've been warned about track limits.
I caught a penalty for that. Got a quarter point.
Right side's clear. Yellow flag in sector 2. We think that Loretto has spun off. Sector 2 is clear.
a real jerk. Oh, you want a showboat now? Really?
Acknowledged. Pit stop requested. 10th position. That's the end of the race.
I did not like the way he was driving because I saw it in my radar. The guy was trying to scare me into thinking he was going to do a pit maneuver on me because I thought...
Toyota said, what GPU are you using?
On this PC, on my gaming PC, I got a 4090.
The pit crew is ready.
And so inside the headset, you know, there was no problems with the games. You guys said that the stream was choppy. The only thing that I can think of was that I had the speech chat open on the streaming PC, and I had a YouTube window open here on the gaming PC. Once I closed it, you guys said that the stream started clearing up. So that's probably what it was. But as far as this PC goes, this 4090's got more than enough power. So yeah, but I was caught up in the race, so I don't know who was saying anything about the Oculus Rift S. I mean, if you buy one of that, is an ancient headset, and I mean, the only reason why I would even see getting one of those is if this is your first headset and you don't want to spend a bunch of money and you've got a fairly weak PC, then yeah, that's, I could see that. But in one of my previous streams, I was saying that if you're gonna do flat screen gaming, I really don't think you need any more than a 3080. You know, like a 3080 Ti. That'll kind of cover you across the board playing especially old games and the newer games. You know, you can still run them at 60 frames per second. You know, you may have to decide whether you want ultra settings or high settings or, you know, 1440p or 2160p. You might have to play around with that stuff, but a 3080...
Toyota said, yeah, I want to try VR to see if I get motion sickness.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. If you start out with an Oculus Rift S, naturally you're going to have to buy it off of eBay. And for something like that, I would not pay more than $150 for it. Because if they charge more than that, then you can go ahead and get a Quest 2. And because the Quest headsets also double as PC headsets. So if someone charges more than $150 for a Rift S, then I would just move on and get a Quest 2 if that's the case, because you'll have not only with the Quest 2, with the Rift S, you have a native resolution inside the headset of 1440p, and it goes up to 80 hertz. With the Quest 2, the native headset within the native resolution is 1920p, but with the Oculus PC app, you can.
Toyotamon said, "Is Quest 2 that much better than Rift S?"
In terms of like the resolution and stuff like that, yeah, you might need a slightly beefier PC to push it. I mean, maybe like a 3070 or a 3070 Ti might be enough to push a Quest, but it also depends on, like, if you get a Quest, as I was saying, the native resolution is 1920p.
Toyotamon said, "I will just get Quest 2 then."
Okay, so what I was going to say was the native resolution in the headset is 1920p, but once you connect it to the PC app will allow you to upscale it to like 2700p, and it goes up to 90 hertz. I would recommend using the link cable and do not do it wirelessly, because it's going to tax your PC that much more if you go wireless. And not only that, I think there's slightly more latency doing it wirelessly. So I would use the link cable. And as far as like the link cable goes that you see right here, the Insignia brand from Best Buy, it's a very good cable, and it'll save you a few bucks, because the official Oculus cable will cost you $80, whereas this Best Buy brand cable costed me $65. So and it does just as good a job. So if you're looking to get into VR for sim racing, I think, in my opinion, 90 frames per second is the threshold. Let's see here. On the straights, you can even go 72 frames per second. The problem is when you get to the corners and you turn, then you're going to start seeing blur. You're going to start seeing what looks like drop frames. You need enough power to do 90. That way, when you get to the corners, it's still smooth. It's still clear. So that's why I had to build such a beefy PC, because not only am I running this at 90 frames per second, I also, through the use of the OpenXR toolkit, I have the resolution upscaled to 3300p, so I have an unbelievably sharp picture inside this headset. Tuesday, October 29th. Let's see here. 3 hours. What class is this? Six hours. Holy moly. So let's look at the schedule. That track Bahrain that I just finished, like I said, you guys just saw right there why that's not exactly one of my favorite tracks on this game, because you've seen the lockups, you've seen people spinning out all over the place, and I got collected both times. Now let's look at the schedule. The intermediate race right here. Oh, excuse me, the Sprint Cup here at Circuit of the Americas. And there's usually not much participation in the late evenings in these intermediate races. So like these intermediate races and advanced races, you know, it's best for me to do them on the weekends. Oh shit, here's a one sprint at Sebring. Excuse me. That might be a race that I'll be looking to do. And then your weekly race is right here. We got a Circuit of Americas race. The event is 2.5 hours longer, but I think the race itself is like I think the race itself might be 2 hours. I don't know. I don't know. I might be willing to compete in that. And then no special events scheduled. What time is it? We got 40 minutes before the next race. Oh my lord. Well, I think I'll do a couple of practice laps at Circuit of the Americas, since that's the race I'll be looking to do possibly this weekend. Let's go. So I guess this stream showed me that it's probably finally time to start using the capture card. I've kind of did a little bit of a Frankenstein setup with the mixer and still using the NDI plugin for OBS. I think it might be time for me to go ahead and go full-blown capture card. Ooh, excuse me. $18 minutes. I thought I skipped the practice. Oh, it's 2 minutes.
Pit exit is clear. Push now. Brakes are cold. Let's get some heat. That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. Track temps increasing.
Oh, stupid AI.
Celsius. It'll polish out, mate. Forget about it.
Force feedback feels different on this track.
Clear left. Clear left. left. Sector 3 is yellow.
I'll let the AI spook me.
Incident in Sector 1, yellow flag. That's the end of the session. 8th place. Okay, pit stop requested.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, can the 4090 handle ultra graphics in LMUVR?
Yeah. Well, ultra settings I don't know because I haven't gone that high. I'll show you my settings real quick. So let's go into settings. And then we go to graphics. So that resolution, that 1080p, pay no mind to that because that's what the resolution is going to be for people that might be sitting in the room with you and watching it on the TV. That's the resolution they're going to see. The same thing with that refresh rate. That's, you know, not an issue either. Post effects, all this stuff I really haven't messed around with. Like you see circuit detail, the stuff that I think is not important, like the circuit detail, level of detail on the track, I set it to medium. Shadows, medium, that's not terribly important to me. Now raindrops, yeah, that's gonna make a little bit of a difference because if you turn that stuff all the way up and you're racing in a thunderstorm, yeah, it's gonna tax your PC. But honestly speaking, your graphical settings to me is not the most important part. I used to think that way. Like I used to think like give me ultra settings or bust. You know, if it wasn't ultra settings, I didn't want it. To me, the resolution is the frame rate is the most important part, and then the resolution is the second most important part. I need 90 frames per second in order for it to be smooth, and then the resolution, 2160p in VR, especially with sim racing, does not look that good. I think in order to get a sharp picture to come anywhere near close to what it would look like flat screen, I run it at
Virtual Reality Motorsports
at 3000p.
said, but if you were to go ultra in VR, could you get 90 frames?
I've never tried it, not with this game. But I will say that I have a Quest 3, and it goes up to 120 frames per second. I ran a benchmark on the Quest 3, and I was able to get 111 frames per second on epic settings at 3300p. A set of Corsa Competizione, which is a super demanding game in VR. Because if you don't have a super beefy PC, ACC looks like dog crap in VR. I was able to run ACC at 2800p, which was still a very sharp picture, at epic settings, and I was still able to render 32 cars at 90 frames per second. What other games? I don't know. So even if even if my computer could run this game at ultra settings, I would not turn it up that high, especially if I'm streaming. Because as of right now, I still have OBS open on the gaming PC because I'm using the NDI plugin to transfer the image over to the streaming PC. So that still taxes the PC a little bit. I mean, like, whenever I'm not streaming, yeah, I could go ahead and try it and see if it'll run at 90 frames per second still on ultra settings. But I might possibly have to lower the resolution. So let me show you what my resolution is if this window pops up and you can see it. So right here, my display resolution is 3300p. Now, if I were to turn these graphical settings up, I might possibly have to turn down the resolution. I will say with a 4090, you should have enough power to run just about any. You should have enough power to run almost any VR game at 90 frames per second. Now, depending on how demanding the game is and how sharp of a picture you want, then yeah, you're going to have to play with the resolution and you're going to have to play with the graphical settings. So, to give you a yes or a no type of answer, I can't say that you're going to be able to run every single game at epic settings or ultra settings. A lot of them you will, but I can't say that you'll be able to do it for every one of them. Oh. If you're willing to take the resolution down to 2160p, I would say the majority of games you would be able, especially if you were to take the refresh rate down. If you were to take the refresh rate down to 80 or even 72 hertz, then yeah, I could almost say that the majority of games you'd be able to run them at ultra settings, no problem. But yeah, if you boost that refresh rate and you boost that resolution, then yeah, you're gonna have to play with the graphical settings a little bit till you find that perfect balance. So, tomorrow's Thursday. I think the next thing I'm going to do as far as streams goes, because I'm trying to, I try to mix it up. I already did GT7. I already did that stream, I think, Monday. Yeah, I did GT7 on Monday, did LMU today. I think tomorrow or Friday, I will either do Forza Motorsports or possibly look into Rensport and doing an online race over on Rensport.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, I would love to know if it could run at 90 in VR at ultra settings, so maybe let us know in the next stream.
Okay, I'll do that. The reason why I won't do it right now is because they're still optimizing this game. And if I go change the graphical settings, it might crash the game and then I'd have to reboot it. But I can tell you this, let me go back into the settings of this game. Right here, visible vehicles. I've got it set to 15 visible vehicles. I can tell you right now, even with a 4090, if you crank all the settings up to ultra, you are not going to be able to go any higher than that with the visible vehicles. You might even have to turn it down to like 12 or 10 cars. So yeah, oh boy, I don't want to mess around with my saves though.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, understood. Thanks, mate.
Hold on. Well, I just did it. Let's see what happens. I just put it on Ultra. Now, that's 16 times arthroscopic. I might have to turn that down. So I guess I'll go ahead and let's see what happens. Let me go back to the settings. All right. It's still on Ultra. Let's go optimal. All right, let's try it. All right, let's try it. We're going to give Ultra settings a try. And then you may notice I got my frame counter right there. You see it, the FPS, it says 60. Once we go into the actual game, it should jump up to 90 frames per second, assuming it can do it. Let's go with the ever popular Spa. All right, here we go. We're gonna give it a try. See if it works. Ultra settings. And also keep in mind that I'm also running this at 3300p. Another thing to keep in mind is that I'm also using the OpenXR toolkit, and what that does is remove the Steam VR, which frees up resources. %. All right. Now, as far as visible cars goes, I don't see any point in turning it up, because I think with these WEC races, I think there's usually about like 40 cars in these races. I don't see any point in rendering that many cars, because I'm not going to be able to see, if I'm in last place, I'm not going to be able to see 40 cars. So I don't think I need to render any more than the 15. All right, here we go.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, thanks for trying, mate.
All right, let's go.
Formation lab has started.
Right now it's at 76 frames per second. So 78, yeah, so yeah, I'm losing some frames here. But once everything gets going, it might jump back up to 90. Oh yeah. I don't have that headroom that I had. Now it's like plus 3%, whereas before I had like plus 50. So yeah, that definitely taxed the PC. Here, let's jump straight into a race. Yeah, 79, 80 frames per second. So with all these cars bunched together like that, it's gonna tax the PC a little bit, but once this race gets underway and everything starts to thin out, it might go back up to 90 frames per second, but I don't have near the overhead that I did with my previous settings, because with my previous settings, even with all the stuff that I had running, the OBS and all that stuff in the background, I still had like almost 50% overhead to play with. Now the turbo mode is on because it's trying to account for the drop frames.
Green flag.
Let's go, let's go.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. It's not as smooth. Because all these cars are
Virtual Reality Motorsports
Clear left.
said,
Clear left.
they have to optimize the sim.
Oof.
Clear left.
Yeah, compared to what it was when the game first came out, it's a lot better than, you know. Oh, you know what? I just thought about something. That's another reason why it's getting taxed. There's a lot more cars rendered.
Okay, Clay. Let's see what we can salvage from this, mate.
But I'm still running at about 9, you know. I'm still hovering. There we are. We're at 90 now. I just thought about that's why. Because I got a bunch of cars rendered.
Clear right. Clear right.
But I can see the frame drops though. So like right now I'm at, especially with me being in last place. Yeah, 90 frames plus 10% overhead.
Yellow flag. Watch out. It looks like shatter has gone off.
%20 now.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, awesome graphics card.
So yeah, now that everything is thinned out, everything's all spread out, I'm at a locked 90 frames per second with like 10% overhead.
You're last.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Now it's showing me as having like,
Sector 1 is yellow.
at one point it jumped up as high as 26% overhead. So I'm at a locked 90 at 20 frames per second. So here, I want to do something. I'm going to quit to the main menu and go back into the graphical settings, and I'm going to turn down how many cars are rendered. I think that's
Let's get out of here.
I think that's why I was having, you know, that's why I was dropping to like 73 frames and stuff. Let's go to graphics. Yep, there it is right there. 25 cars rendered. It was doing that by default. So let's take that down to 15. All right, let's try it one more time. All right, one more time. So that's all part of the compromise that I'm talking about. So So yeah, now we know it can run this game at ultra settings at 25 cars rendered, and I've got the resolution upscaled to 3300p. So that's, but it would be a totally different story if this was a night race and it was wet. If it was, you know, raining and it was night, yeah, I would definitely have some more drop frames.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, "Thanks for trying it, Clay."
No problem. I figured we might as well go ahead. I might as well go ahead and try it now and answer whatever questions you might have in terms of how much stress the 4090 can take, because it'll probably be Saturday before I come back to this game again. So yeah, so I answer your questions now. You know what? And after this is over, like, I'll do a lap here or a half a lap or whatever, and then we'll switch it over and do night. See what happens. So I turned the
Formation lab has started.
So yeah, look at that. The headroom went up. Resume. Is it gonna see here? Oh, it says the race is 1 hour and 12 minutes. I didn't mean to do that.
Formation lab has started.
All right, let's see what kind of headroom we got. All right, we're at 90 frames per second right out the gate with no drops. So I turned it down. I turned the cars rendered down from 25 to 15. So yeah, we're at a locked 90 frames per second. We're at around 5% overhead, and then once things start to thin out, then the overhead percentage is gonna, the headroom is gonna go up. So during this grid start, there might be some occasional frame drops, but I haven't seen anything drop below 88 frames per second. But once this race starts, once it starts and everything starts to thin out, then yeah, it's going to be a locked 90 frames per second, and the headroom percentage is going to go up. 85, 86. Okay, so 85's the lowest I've seen it go. '81, '84.
Green, green, green. Decent start. We can build something from here. Yellow flag in sector 1 on your right side's clear. Sector 1 is now green.
Eddie Kawa / Megarenica said, hello.
How's it going?
Right side's clear.
Yeah, I can definitely see the reflections better on these cars now that I've got it turned up to epic settings.
Scratch, mate. Just ignore it.
Eddie Kawa / Megarenica said, is this official VR support?
Not exactly, but they did keep us in mind. So they, you know, the official Stephen Hood, who's head of Motorsports Games, he said the VR isn't where they want it to be yet, but they still made some improvements to the VR that they wanted us to try. And what they basically did was the VR runs better, and they added a HUD inside the car with me. You know, the standings right there, the delta, the telemetries, you know.
Incident in Sector 2, yellow flag.
So yeah, they know that we're using the VR. They said, you know,
Flag in Sector 2.
they said even though the VR is not official, continue to use it because they, you know, they want us to use the VR and provide feedback. And so now as far as my performance goes, here we go. You know, now I'm running at a lot 90 frames per second with 25% overhead. But
Yellow flag in Sector 3.
you know, at this point, I think if you run this thing at epic settings, it's kind of a case of diminishing returns where I don't really think, like, if you go from high settings to epic settings, I don't really think you're going to see that much of a benefit, but yet it's going to tax your PC even more. So yeah, the most important part to me is the resolution and the frame rate. So what I've got right now is that I'm running this at epic settings, 15 cars rendered, and 90 frames per second, and my resolution is upscaled to 3300p. So, but yeah, and it seems to be handling it pretty good.
Eddie Kawa / Megarenica said, that's great. How would you compare it to the R Factor 2 VR?
It's made by the same people, so I kind of feel like people are calling this like an R Factor 2 update, and I really don't think that's the case.
Incident in Sector 3. Sector 3 is yellow.
I think graphically it looks better than the R Factor 2. You could almost like your initial reaction when you see it, like the first time I saw it, I felt like, yeah, this is R Factor 2, just, you know, with a different coat of paint. But as time went on and my eyes got trained,
The track temperature is decreasing. It's now 29 Celsius.
it looks better than R Factor 2. And I definitely like this better than R Factor 2. And their online racing system, you know, it's called Race Control, I believe. It's better implemented on this game than it is on R Factor 2, because like with R Factor 2, you have your beginners, your intermediate, and your advanced races, just like you do on this game. The beginners races, you know, it's like little bootleg tracks and, you know, little rinky-dink go-karts and shit like that nobody really wants to use. In order for you to get to the more popular tracks and use the GT3 class and all that shit, it's all DLC. So you'll need to get that content in order to participate in those races.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, LMU is a lot more detailed than Refactor 2.
It is. I agree. With this game, even if you don't pay for the DLC, you can still, the beginners races, that's where most everybody races anyway. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. You know what? I would have to say, to get the full experience, there's no way around it. I would recommend getting the DLC, and I think the DLC is more than reasonably priced. I think the DLC, you know, I bought the season pass for $50, and so with the season pass, what you're gonna get is you're gonna get, I think we're getting 3 tracks, 4 hypercars, which we've already gotten the hypercars, and I think 7 GT3 cars. That's I think that's, as they like to say, a good value. Whereas like that DLC for Rensport,
Eddie Kawas/Megarenica said, LMU is definitely more than just an RF2 update.
I agree.
I mean, how does the VR mod FOLMU compare to the official VR in RFacto 2 as a reference?
Bottom line is
Air temperature's falling. It's now
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, better value with LMU than iRacing.
Without a doubt. The official VR, bottom line is the VR,
Sector 1 is yellow.
even though the VR is not official on this headset yet,
Sector 1 is green.
I'm getting a picture that's just as sharp as I would get in RFactor 2. So the bottom line is, visually, the VR is ready to go. As far as I'm concerned, it looks good. I think they're just tweaking out performance things, you know. I think they're just trying to optimize it to the fullest before they make it official. But they know we're using it, and they told us, continue to use it. We want you guys to test out a few things for us. And that was like right there, the standings, you know, the MFD, the multifunctional display, the HUD over here, and the Delta up in the corner. That's what, you know, that's what the last update was about, because they added the HUD and all this stuff, and they said, you know, we want you to test a few things for us. So there's still a couple of more things that need to be tweaked, but for the most part, the way this VR runs and the way it looks, as far as I'm concerned, it's good enough to go. So again, what I'm seeing inside this headset looks just as good as RFactor 2, if not better, and it runs just as good, if not
EW
better.
Tech Corner said, yo.
What's up?
Eddie Kawas/Megarenica said, I really want to get LMU, but I only race in VR and want to know if it is worth it to make the move.
Absolutely.
It seems you are saying yes.
It is worth the
I
move.
might just get my wallet out, LOL.
LeMans Ultimate.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, we can also run VR online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Toyotamon said, at Eddie Kawas/Megarenica, what headset do you have?
Let's try a night race and see how much stress that puts on the computer. Yeah.
There's the checkered flag. That's disappointing.
So, let's try Monza at night. Continue. Drop that. And race time. See, race start time. 11:30 p.m. Yeah, we'll go with that because it'll be night.
Eddie Kawas/Megarenica said, I have Quest 3, RTX 3090, and 5800X 3D. I think I might be fine specs-wise.
Okay, it sounded like you said you had a 3090. If you got a 3090, you're definitely fine as on the VR part. I think you said 5800. If that's the CPU you're working with, I mean, I've got the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, which I think as of right now is still the fastest CPU out there, the fastest gaming CPU. So it sounds to me like, yeah, you got enough hardware to definitely run this in VR. Depending, you know, you may have to play with the settings a little bit. You may have to play with the graphical settings. I wouldn't advise turning it up to ultra. Maybe turn it up to high, play with the shadows a little bit, maybe keep the shadows at medium and stuff like that, just so you can free up resources. And then as far as the resolution goes, you know, I said it before, 2160 does not look good, you know, for racing games in VR. I'm running this at an upscale 3300p. Now, you won't need to go that high, but definitely higher than 2160.
Formation lab has started.
All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, we're all the way down to 72 frames per second. Once it, you know, the overhead is gonna, the headroom is gonna go up once this race gets started. But yeah, my frame rate would be even lower if this was a wet race, if it was raining. Yeah, we're all the way down to 63 frames per second.
Eddie Kawas/Megarenica said, it seems you're using OpenXR Toolkit.
I am.
Is it?
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, it's struggling now. I'm at 61 frames per second, which is tolerable until we get to this corner. Now, okay, now it's starting to go back up.
Clear right. Clear right.
All right, now that everything's spread out, now we're back up to 90 frames per second.
Shocking start. Come on, get it together.
Well, now that I caught up to the other cars, now the frame rate's going up and down a little bit.
Clear right.
Oh yeah, now there's a drop. Now that
EMWC46 said,
On your right.
I'm glad I returned my 4090. It struggles in VR still.
Right side's clear.
it shouldn't. I mean, well, it depends on what you're playing though.
That time was a 2:06.99.
So yeah, I'm at 65 frames per second.
Okay, Clay. Just cut the track.
So now we're back up to 90 frames per second.
The guy in front is right.
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, the 4090 got a good workout today. Clay face with tears of joy. Eddie Kawas / Mecharonica said, thanks for the great info.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a good evening,
Yep.
sir.
So what I think,
Maybe we will meet soon in one of LMU's lobbies. Winking face.
I hope so. So now,
Yellow flag in sector 3.
yeah. So night races in on sim racing is demanding, especially if it's wet and it's night. It's even more demanding. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and kind of put the settings back to where I had them, so I can get that overhead back.
Okay, it's over. Bloody awful result, mate.
So graphics. Let's see here. Go high. Circuit detail, I had that at medium. Shadow blur, let's see here. Shadows, I had that at medium. Soft particles low, raindrops medium. So yeah, I think I'll go with that. And then visible cars, where are we at?
Virtual Reality Motorsports said, I appreciate you trying all this, mate. Thank you.
No problem.
Toyotamon said, have you tried iRacing with VR?
Yeah, years ago, but that was when I had the. That's when I had the Oculus Rift S, and at that time, I think I was still running off of a 2070. So I can't, that was years ago. So I can't compare that to now. All right, let's try a wet race and see how much that taxes the PC. Now let's go Emola. That event settings, advanced options. So going down here, we'll go 11 p.m. Weather for the race. Overcast and heavy rain. Overcast and storm. Okay, so we're going to start out with overcast and storm. And then we'll just let it lighten up. Yeah, look at that. We got a thunderstorm. All right, let's see if it can handle it. Let's see if I can maintain a lock 90. This is a night race in a thunderstorm. This is the true test of how much your PC can handle. All right.
Formation lab has started.
I don't know why they got me starting in the garage. Here we go.
Formation lab has started.
All right, we're in a thunderstorm. Nighttime. 75 frames per second. 77, so it's hovering around the 70 area. And the other thing about this is one thing that I've noticed about this game, and I think it's something that they do in order to save resources. When this race first starts, you're not going to see any spray coming from the wheels until the race starts to progress. Because as each lap, what I noticed about this when you're racing in the wet is each lap that you progress, more and more water accumulates on the track, and then the cars start kicking up more and more spray from the tires. And I think like right now, you're not seeing it right now.
Green, green.
Oh, you know, I see it up there. I see it with some of these cars. Yeah, this spray, I see it.
Clear right.
Holy shit. It is.
Clear right. Right side. Right side's clear. Clear right. Incident in sector 1. Yellow flag. Green flag in sector 1. We think Boko has gone off.
Oh, whoa,
Clay,
whoa.
rough start, mate. We've got a lot of work to do now.
I can't see shit. Okay, yeah, it's starting to be a mist kicking up from the cars. I mean, I don't see anything coming directly from the tires, but there is a mist, and it is hard as hell to see through it. Yep, and now I'm starting to see the water accumulate on the track because I'm starting to see the reflections from small puddles. But yeah, my PC's suffering for it. Okay, now the frame rate's back up. Damn, now we're at 67.
Time 2:17.
You're in last.
Oh shit, I see the lights reflected on the track from the other cars ahead of me. That's crazy.